Do you remember that first call that you had that you were named to the Olympic team? Like, where were you? Who was it? And I mean, I can only imagine how you felt, but just kind of like a dream come true.
I actually don't remember. It's weird. Like I don't. I'm a very like day to day, delete the day before kind of guy, and so like I don't remember any of my like 99% of my goals or like stories on the road. I got a terrible memory. I don't know. But I remember that there was, I don't know how it worked, but USA Hockey gave Scott Burnside maybe access to like in the room when they're like making their selections of like who's going to make the team, who's not going to. And so I think it was like kind of out there that I was going to be like on the bubble, and that my shootouts were going really good that year. I think by the end of the year I was like 9 for 12 in the NHL season. But I do remember like calling my family and letting them know. And that's the one thing that really sticks with me, because like, you know, my family's like, they're all crying, you know. It's like a dream come true, and I kind of live in the moment and don't feel that emotion usually right away. Yeah, just like telling my mom and dad that I was on the Olympic team was just like the coolest thing, not only for me, but like for them too, right? Because of all the sacrifices they made. You know, I wasn't in Warroad my whole life. I was in Seattle, where hockey was very tough. We had to go to Vancouver, BC every weekend to play games. We had to play in a Canadian league, and I think Pee-wees and Bantams. And so it was just very, very tough. They ended up getting divorced. I don't think it's, you know, because of me or because of that. I'm not like holding something in right here, but like it's hard, right? It's hard on them. So just for them to like kind of have that moment and be able to watch me, and hockey wasn't big out there at all. The Kraken weren't there. And so for me to be like in the news in Seattle, to like on the news station that they watch every morning, was a really big deal for them. And so that's kind of what sticks with me. Like now looking back, and what I remember is the impact it had of being named to the team on my family.
That's incredible. I saw what you said the other day too about how every Olympic winner has had a Warroad, Minnesota guy on the team, and Nelly, right, is from Warroad.
Nelly, you're saying? Yeah, he was my senior year. He was a second year Bantam.
So that's good. That's good for us. We need that good carb on our side.
Yeah. That's maybe that's the only reason they selected me. They're like, no, he's from Warroad, and he has a shootout just in case. Let's throw him on the fourth line with 3 other players, and we'll just see what happens.
Okay, so this was my all I thought about too. And you mentioned that exactly. So let's go to the Russia game real quick. We're jumping right into the shootout. First of all, did you know that if you went into a shootout, you were going, like, no matter what? Did they tell you that before, or was it just you had a feeling?
Well, the article came out from, I think, ESPN, that like I was, I forget who someone wanted Saad on the team, and David Poyle was like, but what about Oshie with that shootout move? Like that's like, I think that's quotations what he said. And it was in the article before we were even at the Olympics. So I assumed that like if we went into a shootout, I would go. And because we knew like a gold medal could like come down to this, we practiced it every practice. I think I only shot on Quickie once. He didn't really do a lot of them. He did a couple. But I shot on the other guys a bunch. And
just lighten them up.
I was having a good time with them.
That's kind of like what I wanted to like imagine. So obviously like you're doing so well in the practice, and then you get in the game, and then you go, first of all, how long before that shootout did you play? Like what was your last shift? Because it was at a 20-minute overtime probably.
I mean, it might've been like, I might have had one shift in like a 45-minute span, I'd say, before the shootout.
So you're just cold. You're just sitting there. You're
so
freezing
cold.
your
and
ass
like
off.
The biggest, longest benches, and like it was just me and my 4 buddies. Who was with me? I think it was Staz was with me, Blake Wheeler, and Patch Reddy. That might have been our fourth line. But yeah, I mean, it was like most, we kind of just hung out, and we knew like one guy wasn't going to get a shift every time. So we had like our own like little buddy system. And yeah, but most people don't know that. My first time down the ice, I literally got out there, and the first time I touched the puck, I was like, man, my stick feels so long, and I lose the puck at the blue line my first time down. I'm trying to stick him, I lose the puck because I hadn't been on the ice for a while, and so I was kind of going in cold. But we had pre-scouted, and I knew I was going 5-hole, like 95% sure I was going 5-hole on the very first one, unless he did something weird.
And probably at that point you knew like, all right, I'm going down once. And then once you go second time around, they switch up the order. So then you're going second, have to score again. Once you scored that fourth one, you were probably like, all right, don't even look at me, coach. Like, I'm just going out.
Yeah, there was multiple times where I was like, honestly, I was having a lot of like, it was like, it's fun to me, right? Like a little piece of you deep down, like hopes you go into over like extra shots so you can go again.
Yeah.
Like maybe like 1% of you, 99% wants to just win the game. But 1% of you is like, maybe if we tie this thing after 3, I get to go again. And, and so this is selfish, but like I just love shootouts. So we get to once we get to like the fourth shot, I kind of have like a good feeling on like what he's doing. But I go down so slow, and on the Olympic rink, they weren't like waiting for us. They weren't making like a big show out of this thing. Like, I almost had to like hustle more to the bench than I did like to the goal. And so I was actually getting a little tired. Like we mentioned, like I wasn't, when you're cold, like you're not just like, I don't know, I'm not like a super fit guy. so there was one point where I was like, all right, I'm just going to go in the D side. I think that might've been the fourth shot. And I was sitting at the end of the D bench, and I kind of look back, and I'm like, do you want me to go again? And they like, Dan Bilesman literally started laughing. He's like, yeah, go. And I'm like, all right. But like Kaner's there. Pavelski's really good at shootouts. Everyone, like Zach Parise, we talked about North Dakota. He was like the guy at North Dakota before me. So like he was the game I went and saw on my visit. And I was like, man, this guy is phenomenal. And so like, and how hard he worked and how skilled he was. So like he was on the team. He was like one of my idols growing up, from like high school to the college scene. So, and
here you are just hitting him with the Heisman to get out there for your 17th shootout.
Yeah. Dude, I felt bad. I felt bad that the other guys, like it had to be boring, like just sitting there watching like someone else gets every chance.
When did you realize though, like how, like, wow, like this is sick. Like how impactful that was too for like, cause I remember we didn't even start our game. We were at a youth hockey tournament in Blaine, Minnesota. Like just it delayed it because the shootout was on, just kept going. People were locked in on the TV. Like when did you realize like the significance of that moment?
I think it was I was roommates with David Backus, and so after the game, I go do all the media stuff. I think NBC had like a whole studio set up there, and I'm going on all the different shows. And then I get back in my room, and I lay down, and Bax is an old soul, so he's like already sleeping. And so I feel bad. So I like get in my little bed, and I pull up my phone, and back then, I don't think Instagram was around. So just Twitter. And it was like, my Twitter followers went from like, I don't know, 25,000 to like 135. And I was like, wow, what is going on? And like, this is like, and then like, I think the next morning, Barack Obama like tweeted, like the White House handle tweeted me, and I was like this is like, it's just a shootout, guys. Like, let's all settle down a little bit. but it's because you're out there, right? We're not around. Like there's you're American, like a couple American fans, but it's not like we're at home and everyone's like, the crowd's getting up. I mean, the crowd was pretty upset that we beat Russia. So, it took a little bit for sure.